Ah,
It's working.
it's finally recording. Hello, everybody. Welcome to a brand new episode of the Uncovering Greatness podcast. As always, I am your co host, Sully, and today I am joined by Nicole Mitchell. Nicole is the lead processor at Uncovering Greatness, and what she does is she helps you find out what you want and helps you get it. Nicole, how you doing?
I'm good, thank you, Sully. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you very much. So before I kick off, you guys still haven't subscribed. It's really starting to hurt my feelings. You guys are triggering me. I'm joking. That's another video that Nicole's gonna do for you guys. But please, if you guys do find value, if you guys do enjoy what we're putting out, please do feel free to subscribe, comment, let us know your thoughts. Yeah, we just want to keep growing the podcast, getting better at what we do, and just keep delivering high quality teaching. Whew. So, for those of you who watched last week's episode, we started talking about the power model, and we started at the invisibility stage. And within that episode, I'm sure you would have heard Nicole talking about emerging and emergence and all of those types of things. So we are now at stage two, or is it a stage? Step, either one. Step two of the power model, and it is called emergence. So from your vast knowledge.
So just to go back a little
Yes.
bit, you did the power model with Barry, and he talks about the five, or the
Yes.
I think it's 5 or 6 stages.
5 stages.
5 stages of the power model. So if you are interested in, getting all the stages before you listen to me,
Yes.
go and watch Barry's podcast.
Yes.
Listen to it,
That is a
and
great
it'll
point.
go through all the 5 stages, just so you have a little bit of context.
Yes.
Yeah, so step one, which we spoke about last week, was when you're invisible.
Yes. Nobody knows who you are. Nobody knows about you. Nobody knows you exist.
And it's like you just start a business and you
Zero.
Zero.
Yes.
And we were talking a little bit about my story about me becoming a processor. And when I wasn't invisible, I had to serve.
Yes.
I had to get out. I had to reach out to people. And as I started doing that, I started to emerge.
That's a, and I didn't ask you this when you were talking about it, like, because you had to reach out to people, right?
Correct.
But it's people who knew you but had zero clue what processing is.
Correct.
So you, this is gonna sound weird, but it's like double invisibility.
Well, it is because people knew who I was, but they didn't know what I did. And they knew me as Barry's wife. They knew me as someone in the background, someone that's quiet, someone that doesn't talk to people. Don't laugh. It was very painful for me, okay?
I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing that it just sent me back to like old events. Someone quiet in the background. Yeah. And that's fair. Yes, that was 100%.
I was the one who didn't talk. I was the one who didn't share anything. But I was the one who was always telling everybody, that's wrong.
Yeah.
That's wrong. Fix that. Change that. But so exactly. People knew me as Barry's wife.
Yes.
That's who I was, literally. And so it was incredibly painful going from invisibility into emergence, because it was easy for me to be in the background. It was easy for me to hide in the corner.
Yeah.
But once I started to move through invisibility and I had to reach out, and then I started to emerge, I had to reach out more. People, so I suddenly wasn't Barry's wife anymore. My identity changed because I went from someone in the background to, oh, you mean you more than Barry's wife? You actually do something else, And so I, had to establish myself as, I'm not just Barry's wife. I am Nicole,
the actual human being.
the human being. And I do know some stuff, and I can teach you some stuff. And then, so I'm not only doing that, I'm helping Barry run his business. And I'm also a processor, and I'm becoming a qualified processor.
Yeah.
Which means I help you get you out of the way of you so you can find out what you want and then help you get there. And so began the journey. And yes, it's hard to come out of emergence. And this is where I think a lot of people struggle. Like, you started a new job, you move from invisibility into emergence. You've got to start talking to people. You've got to start making phone calls. You've got to start reaching out.
Sure.
You've got to tell people what you do. You've got to become confident. It is very challenging moving from invisibility into emergence, because now you're emerging and it's like a butterfly coming out of a cocoon, because you've now changed and people don't know that you've changed.
No, you know. You felt it.
You felt it.
Yeah.
And it's like when you start a business, people know who you are, but they don't know what you do. So let's say you start a coffee shop.
Yeah.
People don't know that you
No, it's just.
you know about coffee.
When did that happen?
Yeah. Like, how did
What?
like, did you do a course or something?
Yeah.
Where did you learn about it?
Where did you learn about it?
And that's what people want to know. They want to know, well, how do you know about that? Because as you're starting to emerge, people go, well, what is that? Like, especially with processing, people go, what is that? And then you kind of go, well, life force recovery. And they're like, well, what is that? And then you kind of go, well, you recover your energy. And people go, well, I can do that by, going to the gym. And then you go, no, this is a little bit different, because this is, it's for everybody. It's not specific to anybody, but it's for people who know that they are stuck and want to get unstuck. So in order to get you unstuck, we help you find out what you want, and then we help you get it.
Yeah. And I think this is just my thought, right? And it was the same thing I was saying to Barry when he was basically creating the context on our episode. I feel like emergence is the hardest part. Like, just because it's, and you actually said it when we were talking about invisibility. I think people have this idea in their heads that they want to be seen, they want to be known, but when that actually happens, it's like a real thing. Like, it's pressure. It's not easy. You're not really prepared for it.
So as you start to emerge, like if we take a butterfly comes out of a cocoon, and they have to spread their wings out, and then their wings have to dry.
Yeah.
And that's quite painful. And along the way, it might rain, and then, trouble. Something else might happen. The cocoon falls off the tree. Who knows what happens? Nature happens.
Crazy.
And this poor butterfly is now trying to stabilize itself, and its wings are trying to dry as they become solid. That's what happens to people when they start to go from invisibility into emergence. And a lot of people crash and burn because it is painful, and you are going to get knocked. And, can you remain stable enough to emerge through that state?
I need to get, I don't know, do you know what air horns are? You know, that thing that goes poo, 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 poo. I need to get that, because you've been on a roll the past few episodes, or you've just been saying, just the analogies for me. I've literally, we can end this right now. We are done. That butterfly analogy was perfect, because it's the pain of pushing through, like exactly like the butterfly, that sends you back into invisibility.
Correct.
Right? Okay, so how do I stabilize? I'm now cocooning, getting out my cocoon. And also, that's the other thing. I've never been a butterfly before. I've always been what are they? Worms.
A caterpillar.
What
are worms? Yeah. Caterpillar.
From failed bio at school. So now everybody else knows. But they've never been a butterfly before. They don't know anything about it.
This is where, like you were talking about recognition, as you now start to get this recognition. And it's damn freaking uncomfortable, because suddenly people see you.
Yeah.
And you've got to, suddenly you're in the limelight, and you emerge. Like, if you walk onto stage, what happens when you emerge out the curtains? The spotlight shines on you, and you want to dive into a hole and not be seen.
Yeah.
And that is Correct, because it is challenging. And you have to, one of the things like a butterfly coming out of a cocoon, they have to hold their position. They have to stay, you have to stay in the limelight. You have to hold your position,
Yeah.
on the spotlight, because if you don't, you're going to
You will go
disappear and you'll go back into invisibility. And so it is, one of the things that's so important is to hold your position. This is what I do.
So to stabilize, hold your position, stay in the heat and pressure. Is that what I'm understanding?
Correct.
Okay.
Because you have to, like a butterfly, when its wings are drying, it has to hold that position and not move.
Yeah.
No matter what gets thrown at it, rain, snow, sleet, hail, whatever, it has to hold its position. And it's the same thing when you walk on stage. The spotlight shines on you. You have to be able to hold your space in the spotlight.
Yeah.
And you have to stabilize that. Like a butterfly, it's got to stabilize its wings. You have to stabilize yourself in that position until you are comfortable enough with people looking at you.
And like, how much do you think, and we can use it from like your perspective as a processor, how much doubt kicks into your head? So like, you were invisible, you reached out to people. I think we said you had 10 clients
Correct.
and you did 10 hours each with them.
Correct.
Yo, that's 100 hours.
So that was my goal. I knew that in order to stabilize myself, I needed to do 100 hours
Yo, that's a lot of hours, man.
because I wanted to learn. I wanted to understand more. So I knew that 100 hours was what they had told me.
Okay.
When you do 100 hours, you will know enough.
Okay, so it wasn't a thing of like you have to do 100 hours. You could have done it gradually in terms of the 100 hours.
I could have done the 100 hours over a year. I could have
Yeah.
done the 100 hours over however long. It didn't matter.
You did it in?
So those 100 hours I did in probably 3 or 4 months.
Oh, so you purposely, intentionally put yourself in the heat and pressure.
Correct, because I had to stabilize myself, because like a butterfly with wings, those wings have to dry. I had to learn to stabilize myself so that I knew what I was doing as a processor. I wanted to understand how processing works. So just like a butterfly wants to understand how to flap its wings,
Yeah.
it needs to stabilize
Yeah,
those
it's not
wings
just gonna
before
stop
it
that.
flaps them.
Yeah.
So for me, that's what it was about. It was like I needed to understand how things worked.
Okay.
So it was do your 100 hours as fast as you can so that I could then stabilize and start flapping my wings and have a better understanding and learn the next step. Because I also knew that at that point, I had done the first course. And then I knew that there was course 2, 3, 4, and 5, because there's 5 courses you do
To be certified.
to be certified.
Yeah.
And so I had done one, and I did one in December, and course 2 was in March. And then in April, we were going to the Rich Dad book study. And so by the time we got to April, I made sure that my 100 hours was done.
Okay. Got you.
So that I knew enough, because when we got to the Rich Dad book study and Robert and Blair were there, I wanted to make sure that I knew enough.
Yeah, 100 hours. Okay. So now, I mean, so from in the invisibility stage, we spoke about it, Barry also spoke about it. You got to go serve, right? You got to serve. You got to meet people. You got to connect with people. And you've got to do it with zero expectation. And I think we see this a lot with people who start businesses. I've got this great business selling this thing. People are going to buy it.
Yep.
Versus going to them and say, hey, would you mind testing this out for me, seeing how it works in your business, and maybe if you like it, you'll purchase it. But now when you move into that emergent stage, would you say that that's a stage that now you can start where you are charging?
Correct.
Does the heat kick up even more now? Because now there's an exchange of money now. It's not just an exchange of time.
So certainly, depending on who you are, what you're selling, what your product is, I'm going to say yes. For me, certainly it did, because I had a lot of issues around money.
Oh, okay.
So I grew up in a household where there was a lot of money, and then my parents landed up fighting over money. They got divorced, they went to court, they fought over money, and it was, I believed that money created conflict.
Oh, okay.
So I didn't want to have any.
Okay.
So for me, it was incredibly challenging to start charging people.
You see that?
So I was very grateful because Barry said to me, well, it doesn't matter how much you charge them, just start charging them. So, I think the first client, it was like, I don't know, 200 Rand that I
Okay.
charged them for.
Mm-hmm.
Which
No, it was a tough ask.
That was a tough ask.
Yeah.
So it was a case of, right, I need to start charging these people. So the minimum that Barry and I sat down and he's like, okay, what's the minimum? And I was like, okay, 200 Rand. So from there on, anybody that I spoke to, it was 200 Rand
Okay.
to have a processing session.
Mm-hmm.
And, in terms of, I did keep working with a lot of those people, that the sort of 10 people, because on the way I picked up other people, and, I put in, I think one person, I was like, oh, you build me a website and I'll process.
Yeah.
And somebody else, it was like, okay, you do this for my child and I'll give you processing. And so I started exchanging things,
Exchanging services. Yeah.
because money was challenging. Money was an issue for me. And then it became a case of, okay, cool, now I need to start charging people. Okay, I'm not comfortable charging people $2,000, 2,000 Rand a session. Okay, but what are you comfortable with? Okay, what's the minimum? 200 Rand. So I started 200 Rand, and then slowly over time started building it up as I was emerging to, then it became 500 Rand.
So do you think that if somebody said, so let's just say you went to somebody and you said, I'm going to charge you 10,000, knowing what you know and feel about yourself around money, and they said, I'm not going to pay that, would that have caused sort of a destabilization of you in your emergent stage?
Well, I wouldn't even have dreamt of asking anybody for that amount of money. There was no ways. I mean, it just, for me, it wasn't even feasible.
Yeah.
And I mean, I remember at one point Barry asking me, so how much do you think you could make in a month? How much money do you think you could make in a month? And I kind of did the maths, and it was like, okay, so if I sell processing for 2,000 Rand a session and I do this many hours, and I remember sitting there and I looked at him, I said, I could generate 50,000 Rand a month. But I sat and I cried.
Why?
Because it was that overwhelming for me to think of asking for that much money. Like, could I generate that much money? It was scary for me.
Was it the money or was it the, okay.
It was the amount.
But it wasn't your ability or expertise around what you did.
No.
Oh, that is interesting.
So my fear was that I couldn't charge people that much money. I wasn't worried about how good or bad I was, because I had confidence in my own abilities.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I did 100 hours.
Yeah.
I had no issues with, knowing that I could change your life.
Okay.
With all the work that I had done previously in different environments and skills and running the back of Barry's rooms, my confidence was not an issue.
Okay.
And also, because processing is helping you work on your mindset, I had been working on my mindset.
Yes.
So my confidence in my abilities was not the issue. It was my confidence in my value.
Got you.
Okay, because could I ask people for that much money?
I mean, the crazy part is you had invested a lot of money to
Correct.
to become a processor. So the value thing was already kind of there, but it was more around, can you now, yes, somebody else asked me to pay X to do this course, but can I do X to
Can I
ask somebody else? That's wild.
And so, yes, as you start to, you realize as you start to emerge, because now you're trying to stabilize yourself, you realize all the different issues that you have that you may not have been aware of when you were working in a business. So when I was working in a business running the back of Barry's rooms, I didn't have to ask people for money. I didn't have to make phone calls. I just knew I had to do X, Y, and Z and get it done.
Yeah.
And that was easy. And I could remain invisible doing that. Okay.
Could be really good at being invisible.
I was very good at being.
You actually were. You really were. I mean, and that's the thing. That was something that you taught me is like, people don't be seen in a room. You got to do your best to not be seen. And I was always like, why though? Like, dude, I'm gonna move. Like,
Because in that environment, as somebody who is running the back of the room, our goal is to be invisible and serve, so that people are there to learn. The people that are at the front teaching, they're the ones that are visible. They're the ones that are.
They're essentially at the top of the power model, in a sense.
Correct. They have all the authority. They run the room. So the people at the back, and this is for teaching.
Yeah.
The goal is for you to be invisible, because if you are standing at the back talking, you're going to distract the room. If you are on your cell phone and your cell phone goes off, you're going to distract the room. Sometimes just moving and, scrunching a piece of paper, simplest thing, people will stop. They will disconnect from the person at the front of the room. They will turn around and look and go, what are you doing? Because they don't have the ability to be attentive for that long. So they look for distractions. Therefore, they stop learning.
Yeah.
And so in our rooms, that was a necessary skill. And I was very good at being invisible.
Very good.
So it was easy for me. And it was just like, sit there and be invisible. Do what needs to be done. Be as quiet as possible. No one should even know you're here.
Sometimes I don't even know you're there. There's been times, I mean, especially now that you a lot busier, you're processing more people, you'll come into events or you'll come into like Sales Explosion, for example, and I wouldn't know that you're there. Then suddenly I see you again and you teach it. And I'm like, when did she get you? Like, how did that And it's just for me, I think that it's an incredible ability, because it's more around, you're so focused on serving and keeping context that it's not about you.
Correct.
It's about the people that we are serving. It's actually not even about Barry, who's teaching in the front of the room. It's about the people. And I've seen it with people who have come into our space. They can't fathom that. It's very hard for them to.
It's a concept that people don't like to be invisible.
Yeah.
People like to be seen. People don't want anybody to not know who they are.
But it's funny. I mean, we all,
and I'll say that as a general. Yes. Okay, because everybody has a desire to be seen, but not everybody is seen.
So that's the thing now, because I was going to say, and this is also a generalization, most households, most parents have said this line: children are meant to be
seen and not heard.
You said it. Have you told you?
Hey?
Have you said it to your kids before?
I'm pretty sure I said it to my kids many times.
Do you think that that's the thing that then makes us want to be seen more, like want to not be invisible, because you've been conditioned to be, you're not supposed to be doing all of this stuff you're doing?
So I don't know the answer to that, because every household is different. In my house, it was actually the less you were seen, the better.
Okay.
Because the less you were heard, the better. The less you were seen, the better. Because, and I'll use, some people grow up in abusive households.
Yeah.
And so, if you have a parent that is, let's say, an alcoholic and abusive, as a child, the best thing you can do is not be seen and not be heard, be invisible, because the less trouble you're going to get into. Other households, it's different. Parents want to know where you are, what are you doing, how are you, and so you may have the flip side where you've got, and I see it with clients, is parents that want to know everything that you're doing. Where are you? What are you doing? How are you doing? And you get helicopter moms.
Mm.
And that's also where people go, I just want to be invisible because I don't want somebody standing over the top of me. So you get extremes. But as a whole, in general, in society, I think people are taught that, you sit there, be quiet. School teaches you that. Sit there, shut up, do what you're told. I don't want to know until I ask.
So it's another conditioning thing.
Correct.
Because you don't want to emerge sounds amazing. Just the word. Right? Even when I was preparing for this, I was like, emerge sounds so. I've emerged. I would love to.
Right.
Exactly. I want to walk into a room one day and say, I've emerged, and see the response. I genuinely feel like I'll end up being invisible because the response will not be what I'm expecting. And that sucks. But I'm because it's a conditioning thing, right? So we'll like talk about it from like a promotion perspective. I'm like, and I'll use your example. You were confident in your abilities. You were confident in the knowledge that you had in your head. I'm applying this to somebody else. So this person they've got the degrees. They're good. They're confident in that. But now they need to go from invisible in this position, and I want this position. What do I need to do that? I need to emerge to my boss. My boss, I mean, I rock up and I do what I do.
So that's where serving so important, because people get acknowledged for serving.
Okay.
No matter how quiet or invisible you are, when you serve, people will notice you.
Genuine serving.
Genuine, authentic serving. So if you go to a restaurant and you drop your knife on the floor and suddenly there's a clean knife on the table.
Oh, I lose my mind. In the sense of like, that was amazing. Like, I love that.
Your water glass is empty.
And it's refilled.
But it's refilled. But when in your conversation that you're having, maybe you're having a romantic dinner and there's no one around. Like they're up.
Just happened.
But stuff just happens, and then at the exact time that there's a pause, your food gets delivered. People notice that, even though they often don't say anything.
That is true.
And that is where, when you genuinely serve, you will be noticed, because people will want to know who that is, who served me. And, you'll go to, and often people don't notice it until you are not there.
Yes.
And that's when they'll go, oh, like my water glasses, like, what?
Oh no, we swapped. His shift was over, and I'm like, no, he needs to come back. But
yes, and then you'll go, what is his name?
Yes.
Who or her name?
Yeah.
Who was that? And then you go, okay, cool. I'm going to make sure that I find out when they're on shift, and I'm going to ask for them next time.
Yeah.
So that, or I'm going to make sure that when I get them, I give them an extra tip.
Yes.
Those kind of things. We do those naturally because people serve, and that's when people move from invisibility into emergence, because people notice you.
Yeah,
the challenge is that you have to stabilize in that space. You got to keep serving. You got to keep doing the same thing. So what happens is, like often in work environments, what happens, you get promoted to a manager. I've arrived. I don't have to do anything. Now I'm a manager.
I'm done with you guys. Get out of my way, peasants. Yep.
And because I got a title, I think that I've arrived. I emerged.
I've emerged.
I don't have to do anything now.
Yep.
And then what happens? Suddenly you're back in invisibility.
Yeah, his staff is sort of revolting against you. People aren't listening to you. It's just not. And that's
you changed.
That's a different.
You didn't stabilize.
Because you can still hold that title and position.
And still do the same things, and still serve. Maybe not the same things, but you can still be as effective when you serve.
Because now you're leading a team, so you can, for an example, you can ask your team, well, how can I lead you better? How can I do this better? How can I? And I think how important is it then asking questions around that when you've emerged?
So it is, and this is the challenges. We see it in the workplace, is that a new manager will come in and they suddenly they're telling everybody what to do. We're going to change this and change that and do this and do that. And who do you think you are? And everybody goes, who do you think you are? Like, whereas if a manager comes in and they serve and they go, okay, show me what you do, and they learn and they understand what everybody does, then they have the power to make the changes.
Yeah, I remember when with one of our new employees that we had here, they wanted to change something, and I was like, "Why?" Oh no, but it would be better if we did it like this. And I'm like, better for who? Just follow the process. Don't you just you are invisible. And now when we've been speaking about it, I'm not saying that they were thinking about it like this, but they were invisible, but they didn't want to be invisible. They wanted to move straight into a
They
position.
wanted to be seen.
Yeah.
So instead of giving themselves the ability to learn, understand, find out how things work, and then emerge with the knowledge, people go, no, I'm just going to move this box of tissues. I don't like it here. It doesn't look nice. I'm going to put it, over here. And they have no concept of, well, actually, that's where we record and you're blocking a book or you're doing this or you're doing that. But they don't have the knowledge of that's what happens. So they just go, well, I don't like it here, so I'm going to move it.
Yeah.
They don't take the time to understand how systems work. And that's where, for me, with processing, in order to emerge, I needed to understand the system of processing. How does it work? What happens if you do X, Y, or Z? And when you do Y, how does it affect A? And when you do A, how does it affect Z? And a lot of people don't take the time to get to know the system.
Yeah.
They don't take the time to understand how things work. They just go, I've arrived, so now I know better. It's silly things that people don't even think of. Like, I've seen this in, somebody wants to help, so they'll go and clean the kitchen cupboards and they'll put all the mugs in a specific order. And then you go, hold on, do you know that those mugs are for guests and these mugs are for the staff? And that person goes, no, well, no one told me. You should have told me. It's not my fault that I didn't know. You didn't tell me that the mugs were.
Abdication.
And instead of people coming in and saying, is there a specific system? Is there something I need to know? And that's where emergence is so challenging, because you have to understand and learn the system. You have to know A, B, C. You have to understand the process.
I think, what's funny about that is probably, when was it, 2 UGEs ago, maybe 3 UGEs ago, was when I really understood the whole tablecloth thing. And I'd probably been in the business already for 7 years. And I never got it. I was just like, it's a tablecloth. It's on the table.
So for those of you who don't have context, when Sully puts the tablecloth on the table, one, he doesn't care if there is a tablecloth on the table. And two, he doesn't care how straight it is or how crooked it is or how creased it is. As long Nicole said, put a tablecloth on the table. There's one there. That's what he did.
Yeah, basically. And I realized that I was probably staying invisible for the longest time by doing that, because it was this thing of, I wanted recognition for what I did in terms of what I'm here to do versus putting on a tablecloth.
So, and the problem is because of where I was, the recognition that you got
was not what I was looking for.
Was recognition. When you did it wrong, I would, Sully, the tablecloth is not straight. You need to put the tablecloth. Sully, the tablecloth is creased. Sully, you forgot the tablecloth.
Stains on the tablecloth.
There's marks on the tablecloth. Sully, put a different tablecloth. Sully, the tablecloth isn't touching the floor and it's not straight. When you did it well, I completely ignored you. Why? Because great job. What's the next thing? I was already moved on to the next thing. So as a result, I actually kept you stuck there because, between the two of us, we actually kept each other stuck because you were looking for recognition from me.
Did it?
And I was giving you recognition. It was just the wrong kind.
Yeah.
And I wasn't, when you did it well, say, great job, Silly, on the tablecloth, so that we could move forward together.
Yes.
I was like, I was already done I was on to the next thing.
Well, it's done. Cool. I'm happy with that.
And as opposed to, and this is where when you're emerging, what game are you playing?
Yeah.
And what is the results you're looking for? Are you looking to just put the tablecloth on, or are you looking for recognition?
Yeah.
Because
it's important.
you were looking for recognition. You weren't looking to do the job.
No. No. I was, yeah.
And a lot of people, when they start the job, or they start a new job, that's what they're looking for. And this is subconsciously. So when you're emerging, what are you actually trying to achieve?
Yeah. That's crazy because I've been not, I don't want to say studying or researching, but I've been learning a lot about the brain and how the brain works. And actually realizing that our brain is quite stupid, right? In the sense of what you just said there. I was looking for recognition, but I wasn't clear on what recognition I was looking for in my invisibility stage to try and emerge within the business. But I was getting recognition. You were recognizing the fact that I was doing it wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But now I'm getting upset because I'm like, no, but that's not what I want. But I didn't know that that's not what I was. It was so unclear, but my brain couldn't distinguish between the two. And I was, yeah.
So, and this is where it comes back to your operating system. So when you have your computer, what operating system are you working? When you're like search engine, Google, Chrome will give you a different result to, different search engine. MSN or whatever they are. They all give you different results.
True.
And often people don't even realize what search engine they're using. But they're using, I can't stand Yahoo because it goes, all it does on my laptop is it goes and it looks on American websites.
It's all news.
And it gives me all, like if I'm looking for shopping or something, it gives me all American stuff and blah, blah, blah. Drives me insane. Like I get, and of course it just keeps popping up because... But that's what happens if you are not aware of what browser you are using. You are not going to get the right results. And often people are not aware of the browser that they are using because that's the operating system on their laptop. It runs in the background. It is unseen.
Yeah, it's just running.
It's just running, and people are not aware of that's what's running. And so they don't get the results that they want. So, and this is how our mind is actually very clever because it has an operating system. The problem is that the operator,
yes,
is not aware of the operating system, so it gets the wrong results. So you were looking for recognition. So you're browsing through recognition, and if you're using Yahoo, you're going to get American recognition, American US dollars, as opposed to Google, which is set up correctly and what have you, and it's going to give you your South African bing, 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 kind of.
Yeah. Sorry, I just had a light bulb there. Because what it actually was the fact that I was the only person on the team at that point in time who wasn't a teacher or trainer. Right?
Oh, wow.
Every single person was recognized for that. Because that's who they were. That's what they were doing. I was just this guy who did social media. I was like, lady, can you see me?
In the background.
Because I'll be very honest, it was very simple for Barry to see me. There was nothing. I could do anything. And he'd see it and acknowledge it. I was like, why can I not get through to this lady? What have I done? And now I realize what I did. I was looking for the wrong thing. It was just a wrong record. Because you were seeing me.
I was.
You were seeing me very clearly.
The little shit that won't do what I tell him. Sorry, did I just...
Just let it out. We're processing on this episode, guys.
And this is where people start to clash, because now we're emerging and people start to clash, and what that does is it starts to create chaos, and that will be the next one. But you can see you come out of emergence and suddenly now I want to kill you because you can't put a tablecloth or a table straight, and you're thinking, woman, I'm going to purposely make it 1 second. You can say something.
I'm very sure those times I did that. I'm very sure.
I've got that too. So I know. Don't worry. But and it wasn't a conscious thought. It's a subconscious, because we're working on the wrong operating system. And so there's all this chaos that gets created because, too many things are happening and we're not aware of
the things that
are actually happening. So, in a business, what happens, you've created these beautiful systems and everything's stable, you serve, and suddenly now you've got 300 people asking you for this little widget, and you're going, gee, we only have 20 in stock. Now what do we do? And suddenly there's chaos because there's so many people, or there's, people that don't want to get along, people that don't want to work together. There's all these different things that create chaos because now you're being seen.
I think that's a great place to wrap this up. Sets us up for chaos perfectly. One of my favorite topics of all time. Chaos, 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 because I am a chaos creator.
Well, you were. Not always.
Nah, not anymore. I would hope not anymore. I would hope I've changed a little bit. Even a little bit. That would be great. Ladies,
you said it. You said I'm a chaos creator. I'm like, not anymore.
Thank you for acknowledging. See, I'm seen now. I've emerged.
You can put the tablecloths on straight.
By myself. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us. Thank you for watching. Nicole, thank you again for your time, and thank you for making time. I know you're incredibly busy. What tomorrow we've got Ignite Your Sales.
Yeah, and the Ultimate Greatness Experience.
I love how we love creating chaos for ourselves. Beautiful thing.
So exciting. 2 programs in one day.
We always do this around UG. So thank you guys for watching. Really, really appreciate it. If you guys found value in this, please let us know. Leave us subscribe firstly, but then leave us a comment. Let us know where you at, based off the power model, where you at, what you feeling, how you feeling about it. If you have any questions, send them through and I will make sure that they get answered for you. So thank you guys for joining. Thank you guys for watching. And please don't forget to subscribe. See you guys next week.
Bye.